Hello and welcome to National Focus. I am Julian Morris. In the headlines, CARICOM to seek collaboration on intra-regional travel. President of the DSC addresses the resumption of face-to-face learning. And government continues to invest in the development of sports. The details of the headline stories and more coming up.
I love the freedom when I'm out there. Simply put, the worries from shore, none of that out there. And it's my daily bread. I learned it from my dad. My dad is one of the senior guys here who catch the biggest fish around here. And he's top with the red snappers. It's a family thing. I'm the only one fishing right now in the family. Just keeping it going. I enjoy bringing them up, man. Sometimes you have a yellowfin tuna, 400 pounds. Man, let me tell you, that's just a joy out there. I enjoy going out there and just holding the big fish. I don't lift weights, I lift fish. The morning of my fishing trip, I would get up, make a little spiced tea. Then I come down here. I have my GPS, which most fishermen are supposed to have that. Normally I prepare the day before, because whenever you go out there, you must have ice. Ice is a must for preservation of the fish. So I always make sure I have everything the day before. My fish represents me, and I bring good quality fish ashore simply because the restaurants themselves, they have to show a quality product. Tourism and agriculture go hand in hand, that's what I think. We're all connected. It's like a big machine, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it. My name is Brandon Carlisle, and tourism is my business.
Prime Minister the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit says CARICOM is focused on helping the region come up with ideas on how to tackle the challenges of regional travel. The Honorable Prime Minister joined other CARICOM heads for the news conference which marked the end of the 44th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in the Bahamas. The heads were asked whether they had arrived at any solutions during the deliberations on the difficulties facing regional travel.
Well, it's an ongoing discussion. We have mandated the central bank to explore and to examine the current challenge that we have and to come up with some recommendations on how we can overcome the travel issue, interregional travel. I mean, we had discussions here today as well. On this, we got a report, an update from the President of the Caribbean Development Bank. Among ourselves as heads, we've also discussed a number of actions we believe that we can take in immediate to help resolve or alleviate the current challenge we have. The reality is, I mean, we all miss Liat in the Caribbean. An airline that was chastised by so many of us, but now we understand and appreciate the important public good which Liat espoused for so many decades. And so we're looking at what kind of construct we can bring into play, recognizing that there are existing companies that are servicing our islands, and see how we can work with those existing entities to seek to alleviate the current challenge.
Prime Minister Skerrit also spoke to the issue in Suriname, where protesters had attacked Parliament.
As you know, there was this demonstration in Suriname, and of course we respect every citizen's right to protest within the confines of the provisions of the Constitution and the relevant laws in the country. But also, we stand in solidarity in recognizing the democratically elected government led by President Santoki. And we do hope that all actors can respect the rule of law and respect people's right to move freely. And we certainly condemn the storming of the Parliament. It appears that this is becoming a practice in our hemisphere, and it's something that we all need to seek to condemn and to stamp out in our hemisphere. And we call for calm and a restoration of peace and order, and allow for dialogue to take place, and the issues among the Surinamese people can be addressed in a respectful, lawful manner. And so we call on all to respect the rule of law and to maintain the rule of law in Suriname.
Another question raised at the press conference was the issue of whether CARICOM believes France was obligated to pay reparations to Haiti. Prime Minister Skerrit says reparations is an issue which is under discussion within CARICOM. He believes it's an important question which should occupy the minds of all Caribbean people.
Well, as you know, CARICOM has taken a decision to establish a mechanism to engage our former colonial countries, masters, on the question of reparation. And each country were mandated to also establish a national reparations committee to engage in this subject. This is a global subject. And of course, Haiti is part of the Caribbean community and the global architecture. And no doubt, Haiti's current situation, you know, part of it has to do with its history and the way it was treated as the first country which saw the emancipation of slaves. And so the discussion on reparation, including reparations for the Haitian people, you know, are all part of the discussions that we're having at the Caribbean community level on this question.
The Honorable Prime Minister believes descendants of slaves in the Caribbean are owed compensation for the indignities suffered by their ancestors.
There's no doubt, we believe as Caribbean people, that some kind of recompense need to be provided to us for the many atrocities of slavery in our region. And so on the question of reparations to Haiti, it forms part of the CARICOM's consideration and concern in respect to our historical circumstance.
The Honorable Prime Minister believes Caribbean people need to appreciate their history and the atrocities which they've gone through as a people.
I don't think we should only accept apologies or a recognition that a wrong was done. If a wrong is done to you and you go to court, then you'll get compensation. And I think we have to start looking at these things from that vantage point, similar to the climate crisis that we are experiencing. I mean, at every COP meeting, there is a new offer of assistance, but they're never forthcoming.
Despite this, the Prime Minister says countries in the region continue to face the ravages of natural disasters and the cost of building back is tremendous. He says there are a number of injustices which the developing world faces. He says these matters will continue to form part of the discussion at regional and a national level. He believes the former colonial masters should be engaged on the issue of reparations and what form it should take. The Ministry of Tourism is looking forward to forging greater relations with corporate Dominica to enhance visitor experience and promote the tourism product on an international market. A recent initiative, Queen's Cocktails and Conversation, was a stepping stone for the ministry to strengthen relations with local partners. One of the main partners of this initiative was Belfast Estate. Belfast Estate has partnered with the Ministry of Tourism on numerous festivals and continues to grow in partnership.
Belfast Estates and their group of products, and in particular BB rum as kind of the official rum of Carnival, it's something that we're trying to go back to again. Once upon a time we used to have the official telecoms corporation or partner of events. So BB in particular, you know, and Flow on the telecom side, and Tuapito on the official water. We try to reinvigorate and we try to promote where we can, not only Dominica's Carnival, but their products and their services as well. And we try to give them additional eyes and ears that maybe they would not have had. And similarly, we try to benefit from what it is that they bring to the table. So in general, it's a partnership that we need to continue to work on.
Meanwhile, Minister for Tourism, Honorable Denise Charles, is hopeful that government will boost its efforts to collaborate with the private sector.
A lot of the festivals, given the investments the government has made in them, are very solid products. Just look at the last World Creole Music Festival. It's still the talk of many people. And we had a 10% increase in visitor arrivals for World Creole Music Festival 2022. So you know what that means. More people came to the country, more people spent money, more people drank beverages, they consumed food, more electricity was used. So you can see the spillover effect in the economy. And that is why it is very important for the private sector to continue to build that solid relationship with the government so we can promote our destination as one, because we all stand to benefit for a more robust tourism sector.
The BB rum produced by this company was announced as the official rum of Mass Dominic 2023 as part of their sponsorship toward the enhancement of the carnival experience. A new remand facility at the Dominica State Prison is currently under construction.
As you know, when people are charged, and in some cases they're remanded in custody, especially for serious offenses like murder and armed robbery, rape, etc. And these people are held in what we call a remand facility, and they are not actually sentenced yet. So what we're doing is that we're seeking to standardize the manner in which they are incarcerated, and we are constructing separate cells. So 12 cells, and each cell will be able to accommodate at least 3 inmates, and with washroom facility. Why that is important? It's important by virtue of the crime that you commit. I believe that some people should be kept in jail for a long time.
The remand facility cost $216,000.
We're seeking to improve on that and to standardize the manner in which people on remand are held in custody. So we have construction has begun. We're spending $216,000 to effect that actual contractual work, and we're hoping in the next 6 weeks to see the completion of that work. So we'll have specialized toilets installed, and a washroom facility, and holding cells for free inmates per cell. But each inmate will have his or her. Although we hardly have women, I think only one we have, 3 women or 2. It's down to 2 now. Of a population of about 230, and we only have 2 women. So the bulk of the inmates here are men. So to have each inmate will have his bed.
Minister Blackmore says it is important to place more emphasis on correction.
One of the things that I advocate and the government want to advocate, we need to place serious emphasis on correction. As I said, there are some inmates, by virtue of the crime that they've committed, should be in jail for a long time. You kill somebody and you're found guilty, you ought to spend the rest of your life in jail. You rape, especially a minor, you should be put away for the rest of your life.
He believes in reform and ensuring the inmates are better prepared to re-enter society.
The majority of our inmates deserve a second chance in life. And therefore, when they leave the prison setting, and they should live a better person and should be able to contribute to mainstream society. And that's why our emphasis going forward will be the placing emphasis on reform. So what we started some years ago, we have a number of young inmates who were able to rewrite and to do the CXC subjects, etc. We had a sewing program. We have a leathercraft and woodcraft program going on. We're hoping to have that to start again. Bearing in mind that COVID is not as significantly an impact at the prison as it was before. And we started a construction module, and whereby I think 10 inmates were involved in the fundamentals of construction.
Plans are also on the way to make farmland available to inmates to maximize production at the facility.
We also want to, and one of the reasons why we're building that buffer zone is to properly secure the facility and to maximize the amount of land that we have there, so that the prisoner can have his own farm, can produce his vegetables, his provision, not only for the prisons. Why can't the prison provide vegetables and provision to the hospital? We have the labor component there, and so we're hoping to work with the Ministry of Agriculture to come to do some assessment to see how we can maximize our production there, and to have the prison and the inmates can do that as some form of enterprise. Or the inmate leaves the cell setting tomorrow, the prison setting tomorrow, he can be a farmer.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. Classes will resume at the Dominica State College on Monday. President of the Dominica State College, Dr. Donald Peters, says the resumption of classes at the DSC has been long anticipated.
The plan is to open classes or resume classes on February 27th. And we're going to start with the freshmen coming in. For the first time, we have the highest number of freshmen. So we're going to bring them in on Monday for orientation. And by Wednesday, all of the students will be in here based on their schedules.
Part of the reason for the delayed resumption of classes is the ongoing renovation works, getting the facility ready.
In the back here, you can hear all the construction going on. The contractors are doing everything possible to get us ready for Monday. They've been working all week during Carnival, so we expect that we will have at least 17 classrooms ready.
Dr. Peters says the renovation project is being approached in phases.
For phase one, this is a three-phase program. Phase one was 1.7 million, and the other two phases are going to come maybe later in the year.
The resumption of classes is important, particularly as it represents an opportunity to return to face-to-face learning.
We are a college, international college, and we know the literature better than the public do. And if you read Boye, who is the former student affairs person, all research, Kansas City, research by all major universities have indicated clearly that freshman students especially and first-year students have to learn to socialize and understand how a college works, and it's important that they be on campus. Blended education and learning does work for older students, and we intend to keep those, but for now it's going to be face-to-face.
Student interest in technical studies has grown significantly in recent times. The Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development has several initiatives on its agenda as government continues its development of sports. Kavia John reports.
Work has been ongoing in various projects on both the community and the national level. Minister of Responsibility for Youth and Sports, Honorable Oscar George, says the role of the government is to ensure that there are conducive environments for athletes to thrive.
We are making steps in boosting the development of facilities. We have done an excellent job in the stadium and the forecourt. I believe we have done an excellent job in Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth with all the amenities there. We are currently doing some work in Woodfordale, in Granby, and of course a number of other playing fields around Dominica. We are also developing basketball courts in a number of communities, and all this is just in an attempt to ensure that people have access to these playing facilities. Obviously, we cannot do all the playing facilities all at once. As you know, there's a large number of playing facilities around Dominica, but what the ministry will do is we will go around the island and identify these playing facilities and see how we can develop them in a structured way.
Government will meet with various sporting associations to plan out how they can properly assist the athletes in the different fields.
Going forward, we will meet with the various associations, we will hear from them, and we will seek to partner with them to develop these facilities, and of course also to get a sense from them as to what are their challenges and how government can further partner with them to ensure that our athletes can attain the heights we want them to attain. So it's an exciting time for sports. I believe there's so much going on, and I don't think that we promote enough of what is going on. I don't think there's anyone that can say that nothing is going on in sports as we speak. So it's all left to the athletes to put their best foot forward. We will support them, but they have to put in the work. They have to put in the effort to ensure that they attain performances that can be recognized internationally.
Hurricane Maria severely affected the lighting at the stadium, and a contract was signed in December 2022 for the rehabilitation of the lights, with works commencing in January 2023. Honorable Judge says the works have been progressing smoothly.
So the first phase, as I mentioned, will demolish the lights. We will demolish the foundation aspects of it. We will run all the underground cables to facilitate this. And the second phase will involve the actual erection of 6. We're increasing from 4 to 6. So we will install 6 new poles on the perimeter of the stadium. Well, this is going very well. As we speak, They have already commenced demolition of the 2 existing pools that are at the stadium, and we expect that to take a few months for the first phase. And we're already in discussions with a few contractors for the second phase. Obviously, we have done the research. We know what is required for lighting, and of course, we want to ensure that the Windsor Park gets the best lighting.
The minister noted that they have been in contact with stakeholders here and abroad to ensure an efficient project.
The second phase will all depend on the completion of the first phase. As we speak, we have foundation bolts being manufactured overseas. They have to be transported to Dominica. We have done all the soil testing to know what load the soil can carry, because we don't want any challenges going down the road. We're in discussions with different stakeholders, both locally and internationally, as to their impact in that project. So basically, all the stakeholders are on board. But in my estimation, it will take a few months to complete the first phase, primarily because we have to demolish, run the underground cables, and of course, do the lighting ducts and electrical lines. And of course, the second phase should be done more quickly, because it's just a matter of erecting the poles and then doing the necessary connections.
The development of a synthetic athletic track is also a major priority for the Ministry of Sports and the government by extension.
The Prime Minister made the announcement of the synthetic track. I think all the investments we have done in cricket, football, basketball, etc., I think it's just ample time that we do something for our track and field athletes. So we're in the process of developing a home for these athletes. As mentioned by the Prime Minister, it will be in the north. We are doing all the groundwork in terms of the site identification, mapping out the location, ensuring that the designs are airtight, ensuring that the designs have all the facilities we want, because we're not just doing the track, we're doing the associated amenities also in terms of office space, storage facilities, parking, football fields, areas for javelin and shot put. So it's a complete package, and we have identified a potential contractor for that. So it's just a matter of ensuring that we settle the issues with the land.
Kuvia John for the Government Information Service.
The Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation has received a forklift from the OECS under the Remlit project.
The handing over took place last week during a short ceremony at the Dominica Solid Waste. General Manager at the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation is Mr. Florian Mitchell.
The Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, we have embarked on a journey, and that journey is basically formulating a recycling culture in Dominica. And we are fortunate today to stand here because we have partnered with many stakeholders, local, regional, and international. And in having discussions with the OECS for the OECS Remlit project, one of the items that we think that was necessary for the corporation is the provision of a forklift. If you would see to my right, there are bale plastic, but to remove it from the baler, you need specialized equipment to do that. And we will be defuncting that area, and then we reach out to the team at the OECS Remlit project, and they saw it fitting to partner with us in making the forklift available. And it will be used again to help us with our waste diversion first. When you bale your material, you would have to stockpile it, then you have to put that material into a container for loading or stuffing.
Mr. Mitchell expressed his gratitude and encouraged his staff to cherish the equipment.
It will go a long way, and the forklift here today is just one part of some of the items that were requested from the Commission. We have a few more equipment that we should be receiving by the end of the year. But today we are very happy to receive such a wonderful gift. To our staff, at times we put you through a lot to achieve our goals, and we know sometimes the necessary equipment that are needed, sometimes they are lacking, and through our negotiation links we try to ensure that we provide you with the necessary tools that is befitting for the work that's ahead. And I'd like to say, let us use it to the best of our ability. Let us take care of it. That it is ours. We do not want to see that it is something that was given to the corporation, but to the operator, to the people within the recycling department. Let us treasure it, that it is our personal tool.
Representative of the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, Mr. Vernon O'Brien, says the OECS is committed to fighting world marine pollution.
I would like to take the opportunity on behalf of the Director General, Mr. Didacus Jules, the leadership team and staff of the OECS Commission to offer some brief remarks. Serious concerns have been expressed over the issue of pollution from both ship and land resources. The negative impact of pollution on the region's tourism product, livelihoods, human health, and ecosystem services have the potential to halt economic growth and development. Hence, the OECS member states, both individually and collectively, have committed to address the problem of marine pollution that results from inadequate waste disposal management.
Mr. O'Brien says further, assistance was given by the government of Norway to assist with the waste prevention project.
To address more recent escalating concerns on pollution, further investments are being made with support from the government of Norway under this project, building resilience in the Eastern Caribbean through reduction in marine litter, remnant. Under this project, Dominica is recognized as a flagship country that gives the country, given that the country has demonstrated willingness and readiness to upscale their waste separation programs. It is therefore with pleasure that the OECS Commission presents Dominica with this equipment, the forklift, and we look forward to seeing enhanced waste separation and collection programs in full operation.
Chairman of the Dominica Solid Waste Board, Mr. Benoit Badwill, says he is pleased to know the equipment is gas operated, as this will assist with mitigating the release of carbon emission.
So I'm saying that this forklift, and I'm very pleased as well, that the forklift is gas operated, which means that we're beginning to make strides in terms of reduction of emissions as well, and also the work environment will be a healthier environment in terms of the people working around that forklift. So hopefully as we go on in the future, we'll probably be looking at electric forklifts so that again, with our notion of reducing carbon emissions is one of the things that we want to ensure that solid waste in its own footprint begin to send that message across.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production Team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching.